Okay. All right, Kandisha.
Hey.
Welcome to the pod.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Yeah, this was super random and like I literally just grabbed you out of the kitchen after seeing your set and I knew you were playing, but we hadn't met before that.
Yeah.
So appreciate you being just super
Thanks
down.
for having me.
Yeah. So I guess this will be kind of cool because like I'm literally like getting to know you for the very first time. So all of these questions are going to be like, super like I'm just trying to figure out who you are. Yeah, maybe like how do you introduce yourself to people, or how do maybe people usually introduce you?
Ooh, that's a toughie. My name's Kandisha.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Tennessee, came here from Atlanta.
Tennessee.
And although I make kind of eclectic music, I still feel like it properly represents where I come from.
How so?
Mainly because I feel like that a lot of my influences and the time in my life that I really fell in love with music was the time when Southern rap music was just rap music, when Southern rap music was influencing the world for like I feel the first time.
So name some of the artists so we can get a sense of.
3 6 Mafia, David Banner, Waka Flocka, anything from like
P. Pablo, D4L.
D4L.
Jermaine Dupri and that whole wave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything of that sort. Of course, things like Crime Mob.
Yeah.
I'm strangely a Gorilla Zoe fan, if you know who that is.
Now you're getting into a mystery world. I don't know.
Skinny Pimp, the whole nine.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what you sort of were inspired by. That's what you were listening to when you were.
It's kind of weird because I grew up a super hardcore pop fan. I'm the Backstreet Boys' #1 fan in all seriousness.
Okay.
But I grew up in a rock household in a rap neighborhood. So I feel like they all just kind of...
How did you grow up in a rock household in a rap neighborhood?
Because my family makes music, and they're usually always leaning towards like rock and blues. Because that's the kind of music that my older brothers would make. So growing up, it was just like in the house, like straight Metallica. Whereas like we grew up in black neighborhoods. So as soon as you leave the house, you know, back that ass up, just drop that year. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
you're connecting on both levels, but then you're also listening to pop on your own.
Yeah.
So you're some mixture of all these three things.
Yeah.
Interesting. So like what type of I guess like what was high school like?
Oh man. Weird.
Who were you in the high school like cliques?
Oh man, so it's weird because I went to a nerd high school where you gotta like I guess be smart to go there. So everyone's a nerd. Like you could have cliques, but we're all nerds.
Everyone's a little smart, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really feel like I fit in that much in high school because I actually wanted to go to an art school. And I went to a math and science, like basically like an Ivy League prep school.
Yeah.
And yeah, I wasn't into it. I was always bouncing between like friends trying to find my core. But
I mean, you probably didn't really even know you were doing that, maybe, or were you aware? Like,
kind of. I just kind of assumed that everyone felt like that in high school.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You find your people.
Yeah.
And you hang out. You stick with them.
Did you go to college? Did you choose to go to college?
I did, and then I dropped out.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
I'm a fashion school dropout.
Okay. Interesting. Well, tell us really quick a little bit about that.
Yeah, I went to a school called Lipscomb for fashion merchandising because I was actually at the time too insecure to say that I really wanted to make music. But I know I can put clothes on people, so I decided to go to school for fashion. That wasn't really working either.
Yeah.
So I wasn't passionate enough to stay.
Right.
I'm not going to keep spending money on it either, so I left.
Was that like a compromise in a way, or you're like kind of still doing something creative and artistic?
Oh, yeah,
expressive?
For sure. I just felt like I didn't need to be in school for that. So I realized that maybe I don't want to be a stylist. I want to be a creative director. So then I moved to Atlanta to kind of pursue that after dropping out.
Whoa. What part of Tennessee are you from?
Nashville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've been there once.
How'd you like it?
Okay.
That's everybody makes that pause.
I just have to reflect on it real quick. How did I feel about it? Because it was a while back, and it was kind of quick. One thing I will say is I definitely felt like the most out of place It's one of the most out of place like times I've ever been. Because I remember I walked into like a cafe and like literally I was the only Asian person there.
Really?
Yeah. And it was like, I would say it was like maybe 75% white, like maybe 25% black. And like when I walked in, it was like kind of a big cafe, and I was just walking through, and like everyone kind of like I could just feel the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say it was like hostile. It was just like
different.
Huh? You know?
Yeah.
So I felt it very tangibly. But then the funny part is I went to Prince's Hot Chicken. Yeah, at like 3 a.m, and then I ran in line. There's a line at 3 a.m. And
it's Prince's.
Yeah.
They're actually, I don't think they're there anymore.
What?
I don't know, because I haven't been home in a while, but somebody told me a car ran through it. Side note.
Oh my God. Why am I not that surprised?
Happened at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Something's happening.
It definitely feels like it's in the hood, because I went from downtown to Prince's.
Yeah.
And it was like, whoa, we've entered a different place. But when I walked in there, I finally saw another Asian guy, and he had like a green shirt on. It was like covered in pandas. And then he turned around, went out, because I got right behind him in line, and he saw me, and we just had a moment like, oh my God, and like, I see you.
I have that moment in LA all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
What, really?
Yeah.
But there's like plenty of black people in LA.
Not really.
Really?
You know what? And maybe I'm wrong, but I totally looked it up. Keep in mind, I'm coming from Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I looked it up because when I first got here, I was just kind of sad. I was like, where are the black people? Where's the food? I want to go home. So I was like, where are they? So I looked it up on Google, told me that there's only 9% black people in LA. But it's the second most populous place in the country, so 9% is still a lot of people.
Sure.
But it's a small percentage in comparison.
Yeah, I guess you gotta go to what's that neighborhood? Well, there's definitely like, I guess like Lawndale, Inglewood, Compton, Watts.
Yeah.
If you go out a little bit.
Right.
And then there's like a slightly more like, I guess like middle class black neighborhood, which I forget the name of right now. But anyway, I guess I could see that, because it definitely doesn't feel like what you had back in the South.
Yeah, if you gotta go find the black people, that means they're not really there.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of people listening right now who probably know exactly what you're talking about.
Even though they feel like the black culture in LA is beautiful, I love it.
How so?
It's just different. It's totally different from the South.
Is it more colorful? How would you describe it?
If you meant literally colorful, I'd actually say yeah. Every culture kind of has a color palette. I'd say like West Coast stuff is a little bit more bright. But just black culture in the South gives me more like deep, dark, underground, fun, like club vibes. Whereas like over here, there's sunshine, there's water, and the culture I feel like kind of reflects that. Everything is a little bit more wavy. I didn't understand what wavy meant, so I like came out here. I was like, I get it.
Wait, when did you get here?
Actually, in December, this past December.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Is it overwhelming at all to be in LA?
First 2 months, yes.
Yeah.
And then I got used to it.
Got it.
Yeah.
How are you finding your way? Like, are you like finding your people, making new friends? Because LA definitely has an industry. You know, it can have a dark energy to it.
Yeah, it can. But when I was telling people I was thinking about moving here, everyone was like, everyone's gonna be so fake, and it's gonna take you a year or two to find your ground. But when I got here, those 2 months or 3 months were hard, and then I don't know, I've been lucky enough to meet some of the most genuine, most generous, just heartfelt people. Yeah. I honestly like in my life as a friend group here. Wow. So it's kind of ironic. But
I think probably because there's a lot of creatives out here. They can all empathize, and we're all in a similar place and struggling with similar things.
Yeah.
And humbled by that. And we know that you're going through that. Right? It's implied, and like, you know, it's, even if we don't talk about it. Yeah. You think that's what it is, or?
I think that's just like connection in general, because it's different as we want to make ourselves seem or not. Yeah. But especially out here, more times than not, people are here for a reason. And because everyone has the energy of coming here to be something greater than what they were, that's a humbling experience in itself, I think. So when you connect with other people that are on that journey too, it's more just camaraderie.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, I see you, I know what you've probably gone through because I've done something similar. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all grinding, doing our best.
So tell us about that bit, what you said about being a greater version, right? So what does that look like for you? I mean...
For me, it means being an artist before being a rapper, I mean, it's not a job, it's a way of life. And because I'm relatively new, or just not relatively new, I'm just new, because I think about it that way, it's my job to not only study my craft, but understand what my craft, or how I want it to be brought to other people. What do I want people to know? What do I want people to feel? How do I make myself a better musician in every way possible? So even though you're just getting started, you gotta start. You know what I mean? You gotta put in the hours, get on YouTube University, learn.
Right.
Yeah, take vocal lessons, all the above. Be the best you can be.
Yeah.
Take it seriously.
Do you have any advice that you would give to your, let's say, 1 year ago self?
Oh. 1 year
pre-LA.
ago, September 2018, I would tell me to believe in divine timing, I have a tendency to... My next project, I'm going to call it Catastrophe, because I was really thinking about who I am and how I carry myself in the world. And I realized that I have a knack for fixing catastrophe and always wanting to put things in a puzzle and control them and make sure that they're okay. Sometimes you need to let go and trust and follow that weird intuition thing that no one can explain yet.
Do you consider yourself to be a spiritual person?
Very much so.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like, what does that look like for you?
I've been clairvoyant since the age of 2. So that's actually the first time I'm like saying that publicly. But yeah.
What does that mean?
I won't get too far into it, but...
Let's get far into it.
I won't get too far into it, but let's just say that I'm just highly, highly intuitive. And the way I see the world is everything is energy. Everything is moving at a certain rate.
Sure.
And sometimes you experience different things based on what rate your own energy is moving. Right. So just like in other cultures, sometimes that person that is schizophrenic or what have you, they'll be trained to be somewhat of a shaman, because instead of it seeming like, oh, you're crazy because you don't see reality as the general public does, it's like, oh no, you're seeing a different veil of reality being lifted. You're seeing a different light spectrum. You're seeing something above this frequency of perception. And so I feel like I got that. Not schizophrenic, but but yeah. I be knowing.
Have you, oh my God. I feel afraid right now.
Don't be.
I feel like that's the natural reaction for people, is to either feel like, after you tell them something like that, it's like, oh my God, don't read me, or they want to be read, or like they want you to speak into their life in some way.
Yeah, I don't read people. I don't want to.
So what brought you to the point where you could say, with no hesitation, clairvoyant? Like, you must have certain experiences that are a little particular.
Too many to count.
Okay.
When I get like 50 or so, I'll probably like write a book or something like that. Wow. But yeah, so many. I'm in my mid-20s now, so since 2, there's stuff all over the place.
Kind of like empath.
Yeah, that too, and just experiencing a different level of my own reality, I suppose, but also understanding or seeing how what I am experiencing relates to other people's reality too. So it's kind of a little sense of validation, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it's really cool because now, 2019, things of that subject matter aren't as taboo as they once were because
that's true.
Every party I go to, people are talking about astrology. Whereas years ago, like, that was tomfoolery. No one's talking about that.
That's true.
So it's cool to watch
in like
people.
2, 3, 4 years.
It's cool. I love it.
What do you think made that shift happen? I feel like I picked it up. I feel like I picked it up on Twitter.
Yeah.
But then
Twitter's beautiful.
But that wasn't the source.
Yeah. I think it's half of social media. It kind of has that same effect as Ho Twitter. When, like, people had such a crazy stigma around women owning their sexuality publicly. Mm-hmm. And then Ho Twitter said, nah, we're going to talk about the sugar daddies. We're going to talk about everything that we do publicly because no shame.
Right.
And then it slowly influenced regular pop culture as well. I think the same thing kind of happened with Twitter. But I also think that times are moving and people are constantly looking for a way to find themselves out. And any other route that can be explored usually gets explored in some way. Especially when, like, with, like, astrology, for instance. Before, I just knew, like, I'm an Aries, so when we look up Aries stuff, and now people are like, what's your natal chart? What's your rising? What's your moon, your Mercury? You know,
have you heard of Dungeons and Dragons alignment?
No, what is that?
So there's, like, what is there? There's, like, there's a couple axes, right? So it's like righteous and chaotic, I want to say. I might be butchering this. Yeah. Chaotic good. Yeah. Righteous evil, righteous good, righteous neutral. I'm probably butchering it a little bit.
No,
but
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. I saw one of those for, like, superheroes. It's funny.
Oh, yeah.
Have you taken a test before?
Stuff. I haven't taken a test. I just knew what I was right away.
Whoa.
Which is chaotic good.
You should take the test anyway. Just to
maybe
find
I'd
out.
be surprised.
Yeah, because I tested as, like, a neutral, just right.
What? I don't believe that for a second.
I'll take it again.
That's very surprising. So, switching gears a little bit, like, let's talk a little bit about the music.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, what's the catalog look like today? Mm-hmm. And then what are you working towards? Is there a vision of, like, all right, you got the blueprint, like, here's where I'm doing it, or is it more you're always just in the moment?
I definitely know what I want to do. Right now, for me, as a new artist, it's finding the means to do it. I feel like I know how I want all of my own perceptions, my own influences to come together sonically. Now I just got to learn how to make that happen. So I have some singles coming out, but I'm also, in the meantime, working on a debut project. So I'm hoping that project will be a good representation of what's in my head, because I'm not putting it out if it's not.
Yeah. Gotta keep those standards high.
Yeah. Hope so.
Interesting. So what were the 2 songs that you did today? That you had one with Young Skrrt, right?
Yeah. It's actually a demo, but I just liked it so much.
Oh, yeah, you told me you guys just did that last week. Yeah.
I was like, please let me remember the words. He's never heard the words yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did that one called Alive and PIW, which is my only song out right now.
Okay, got it. So you are really, like, breaking in right now.
Yeah.
Like, you are new.
Fresh.
Yeah. Oh, that's exciting. Do you have, like, I'm just curious if you have, like, do you have certain opinions that you feel like that you feel strongly about that are, like, a little contrarian or sort of
I'm an Aries.
Here we go.
There's probably a lot of them. Give me a subject matter. Music. I think that a lot of people want to be rappers, but not a lot of people want to be artists. Yeah. But I'm seeing that change, and I'm really excited.
What does that mean to you?
I think that, especially in the age of the internet, streaming, it's becoming so much easier to put out your music and have people like it. But especially coming from, a place where there's an abundance of rappers, a lot of times people want the life that comes with being a rapper rather than going home and pushing that pen and showing people your world. Some people care about that, some people don't. Teach his own. Whatever makes the people jump, I guess. Yeah.
No, I see what you mean. There's like a certain chasing the outcomes, the benefits, the lifestyle, the clout, whatever.
Yeah.
Versus the craft, and maybe like pushing that, to your limit as far as you can go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just like developing whatever you do. Some people care to do that, some people don't.
Yeah. Do you have any takes on technology?
In general?
Like social networks.
Oh, I think social networks are beautiful. I'm not one of those people that's like thinking that it's deteriorating our minds or anything. I think that we were bound to find a way to connect us better globally, one way or the other. I do think that I'm probably not going to give my future kid an iPad before he turns a certain age, though. Yeah, definitely not going to do that. But I think the internet technology is a blessing. Yeah, we're ruining the earth right now, too. But we're probably going to do that one way or another, too.
And we'll probably figure out a way to...
Hope so.
Yeah, right? Fingers crossed. So. Yeah. So I guess the last couple questions I have for you, and we can wrap it up. But it's the look is like stunning.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, and I've been listening to like TLC again recently, like fan mail. And so when I saw you like walk in, I was like, I just kind of got like my mind went there. And so I'm just curious, like, you said you went to fashion school. You obviously know how to put yourself together.
I appreciate you.
Where does this come from today? Like, is this how is this sort of the look these days? That's the aesthetic, or is this just today?
It's hard to say. I definitely dress how I feel. But honestly, a lot of my style influence comes from like my older brothers when I was younger. My oldest brother moved to LA before any of us tried to. And he was in this really tight like rock band in the late 90s. And he would come home in like these cool leather jackets and like red hair, piercings. Whoa. And I was like, yeah. And my other brother also was like such a little skater boy. And so like I think they kind of gave me that little tomboy flair. And just the type of music I was listening to at the time, I think influenced me a lot too. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Great. Well, last question is there anything that you want to tell people about, plug, promote, any shout outs that you want to give to people?
Stream my latest single, PIW. It is everywhere.
Link in the bio, description. It'll be there.
My next single is going to be called Ghetto Boy, and I'm really excited about it. Follow me on Instagram. Keep up with it. Yeah.
Sweet. All right.
Shout out Tennessee, Atlanta, LA. What's happening?
All right. Well, thank you so much.
So good to meet you.
Let's go downstairs and see who's on.